Okay, if you find yourself sitting all day behind a desk, let's talk about this. It is never really good to sit for more than 20 minutes at a time, whether you're at the computer or in a meeting. It's really good to get up every 20 minutes. Our physiology is such that after 20 minutes, there really starts to increase the amount of strain on our ligaments and our muscles in our spine. So, my first key, if you are having to sit most of the day for work or for school, to try and get up every 20 minutes. When you do get up, you can simply walk around. But another thing that I found helpful for a lot of people is to do a standing extension stretch. So basically, you stand up, put your hands on your hips, and just stretch backwards. Now, if you find this painful, please don't do it. But this is a great way to reverse some of the discomfort that you created just by sitting all day. When we sit, excessive sitting puts a lot more compression onto our spine. It makes us more prone to having disc problems later on over a longer period of time. So really it's important to get up every 20 minutes and stretch out. Let's see. Ideally, if you could vary your positions between sitting and standing throughout the day, I mean, those wonderful standing desks that cost upward of $500 or more are wonderful, but I have used bins before, books stacked on top of each other. You can create your own standing desk, especially if you have a laptop. You can stand up and put your laptop on a bunch of books, or you can sit down and then alternate that every 20 to 30 minutes. If you do use a laptop, make sure you get a keyboard that can go at arm height, because the unfortunate thing about a laptop is that you can't satisfy your neck and your shoulders at the same time. So you may have the keyboard screen at face level, but then your poor shoulders have to be up like this to type. So if you have to type and you're standing, you can keep the screen at around face level, and you can put a portable keyboard so that your arms are at your sides and it's a more comfortable position. We can talk about that more in a future video, but for now, make sure that you get up every 20 minutes and walk around or do a backwards bend. Many of you have heard about the core. The core is basically your abdominal muscles and your lower back muscles. It does get more involved in that, but for the basics of what we're doing for today, we can talk about the abdominal muscles and the low back muscles to help you. And research suggests that the better endurance that our core has, the less likely we are to have low back pain. So endurance basically is your ability to use your muscle over a long period of time, which makes sense. So in order to have good posture, you don't really need to have the ability to crunch like 300 pounds, because that's not what you're doing. Your abdominal muscles are basically, and your low back muscles are keeping you upright together and for a long period of time. They need to have endurance. They're called postural muscles. So let's work on an exercise that will help to improve the endurance of your abdominal muscles. And that should help reduce your chance of having low back pain, especially if you have to sit for most of the day. So we talked about the pelvic tilt in a previous video. We're going to do something in a similar movement than that. So you'll need to either get on the floor or on a firm mattress or a firm ottoman. So let's get started. So go ahead and lie on your back. So this exercise is called hook lying abdominal bracing. And what you're going to do is lie on your back with your knees bent, and you're going to do a pelvic tilt, and you're basically going to hold this position. This might seem like a pretty easy exercise, and it is. It's a pretty basic exercise. Some people can't do this for any length of time and breathe at the same time. So while you're here, the goal is to be able to try and do this for a minute and breathe. So you want to press your low back against the floor and make sure that you are seeing your diaphragm go up and down. So there we go. That's something that takes some practice if you're not used to doing it. I used to do this before going to bed at night. It's a great way to relax. You can practice your abdominal bracing and you can work on relaxing your muscles. So you can take a deep breath in and exhale. Okay. So if you're still holding your abdominal bracing, we are almost at the minute mark here. I'm watching my clock. So that has been about a minute, and then you can relax. So if that hurts, please don't do it. But abdominal bracing is a great exercise to work on your core, and it's safe for your back and for your neck unless you have pain. Now, if you do have a little neck pain, you could get a small pillow or roll up a towel and put it underneath your neck while you're in this position, if that helps. Okay? So to build on the abdominal bracing exercise, like if you found that exercise pretty easy, let's step it up a notch and do abdominal bracing with tiny marches. So for this one, you're going to flatten your back against the floor, okay? And bring your hands down beside you, and you're going to do little tiny marches, okay? And this really works your abdominal muscles. Now, one thing is you want to you can check your pelvic level by putting your hands on your hip bones. If you notice that you are really tilting like this, you're not bracing your abdominal muscles well. So you want to tighten your tummy muscles and flatten your back against the floor and lift and lower your knees there. Okay? You could have a hot fudge sundae sitting on your abdomen, and it should not spill over. I'm just kidding. But that's a good way to see if you are holding it well enough. Your pelvis should stay level. Okay? And let's try and do this for about a minute while keeping your back pressed against here. Now, you may not be able to do a minute, and that's okay. Just got to try what you can. Okay? I prefer timing over counting personally, because I think about things when I'm exercising, and counting, I just forget. So timing is a good way. So, all right. How are we feeling there? Are we keeping our abdominal muscles braced? All right. Good job. Okay, just to recap, there are 3 things you can do if you sit all day that will help you to not have back pain. The first one is to stand up every 20 minutes and do a back extension, okay? I wouldn't hold it for very long, just do a little back extension and then come back. But that's standing. You want to stand up every 20 minutes. The second thing you can do is the hook lying abdominal bracing, which we did lying on our back, and we held it for about a minute. And then if that becomes easy, you can do the hook lying abdominal bracing with tiny marches for about a minute. So those are 3 little exercises you can do that are safe for your spine, as long as you don't have any pain. And you can incorporate that into your daily routine so that you will have a happier back while you work. Please let me know if you have any questions in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.